Okay, so here we are in modules. This is the example letter that I was just talking about. The thing about Rogerian argument is it requires a great deal of restraint. Usually our inclination is to want to make sure that everyone understands us. I want everyone to understand me. If you could just only understand me, that's all, then I will have won. That's not the goal of Rogerian. The goal of Rogerian is to understand others. Because when we show understanding for other people, first, we begin to have empathy for them. And second, we are showing respect. Have you ever, gotten home late for curfew or something when you lived at home? You got home late for curfew. And there was a really good reason that you were late. And you walk in, your parents are mad, and you're getting ready to explain it to them, and they say, I don't want to hear it. That feels very belittling because your voice has been silenced. So when we show empathy for others and try to understand their point of view, it creates a dynamic that makes compromise possible. It's an act of showing respect for another person to listen to and to show that you understand their point of view. Now, this is a written assignment, so you're not having a conversation. When you use this in real life, you can have a conversation with someone and ask them, what are your thoughts on this? In a agreeable way, not like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? But in an agreeable way. Hey, explain to me what's going on, what's going on here. Explain to me why you leave your shoes by the door, or explain to me why you won't take the trash out, in a respectful way, which requires some constraint. And sometimes it may require taking a break after an argument. When I was growing up, my mom was very Rogerian, and she didn't even know it. So if there was a fight between my brother or sister and me, or my parents and me, she would give us all a chance to cool off. And then she would bring us back to the kitchen table, and we would talk about it and find a solution. And I appreciate that example very much. So it may take a break, but okay, so in conversation, you can listen and then show that you understand. In a written argument, the way that we show we are listening is we explain in that paragraph what we think their opinions are. That's the wrong assignment, sorry. What we think their opinions are. Okay, so we're going to write a Rogerian argument. So this is the assignment. It is going to be due on Monday the 27th. So this is an unusual assignment due on a Monday, but then we need to move forward with our final exam assignment for that following week. So Monday the 27th. This explains to you what you will do. So you're going to write a Rogerian argument. You're going to follow all of these steps. You have to use neutral, non-confrontational language throughout. If there is anything in your paper that suggests that you think the other person is wrong, that's a problem. Then you have failed to write a Rogerian argument. So here's the assignment. That's the next thing in modules. Then following that in modules is another example. A planning worksheet. So this just walks you through the first couple of steps, because this step number 2 is the most difficult. It's the step where you try to demonstrate that you can show an understanding for the other person. So this will help you get started, this planning worksheet. If you would like to complete the planning worksheet and send it to me next week, I will be happy to look at it, but I'm not going to require that. The next thing in our modules for next week is another example. I've offered you another example, and this example is annotated so that you can see what's going on in each section. In this case, I did the attendance policy. I imagined a letter that would, in response to a student who has some concerns about the attendance policy. So what I did was I tried to explain the other point of view, and then I explained my point of view, and then suggested a compromise. So here's another example that is annotated so you can see what it would look like on a different topic. Then finally, in modules, this is if you're struggling with this assignment, this is a chapter from a textbook that does a very good job of explaining what Rogerian argument is. So this is just a resource for you if you need some more explanation, more thorough explanation. It's available to you. You can work through it. You can just read parts of it, whatever you want. I just wanted to make the resource available. So remember that I'm doing the office hours every day, 12 to 1, through Zoom. Go to announcements, click on office hours, and the link will be there for you. And you can link to it, and I'll be happy to help you with the assignment if you need it. Okay, that should get us set for Rogerian. If you need more assistance with it, let me know. It's not an easy thing. It's not a hard. This is an unresearched assignment, so it is not a demanding assignment in terms of preparation and content. It is a demanding assignment, however, because it requires you to adopt an appropriate tone. It's the most important thing. One of the things that I learned, sorry, you thought I was done. One of the things that I learned teaching was when students come to me with a problem, the most important thing is to listen, is to make sure that they have an opportunity to explain to me what's going on, even if it's not going to change my opinion. If I will listen first, students are generally much more willing to accept the outcome than they are if I don't listen. And it took me, and I had to learn that as a teacher. But it's that act of validation that comes from being heard. And what I've discovered over the years is sometimes if I will stop and take the time to listen, it's legitimate, and it does change my opinion. When they start, I may not think it will, but it does. So being willing to listen is really the most important part of conflict resolution. But presenting a compromise, a reasonable compromise, where you give something up and the other side also gives something up, to meet in the middle, that is also an essential part of this. Because if you're willing to give, then it shows conciliation. Now, one of the important things to remember is that there are issues in your life that you are not willing to give on. And if that's the case, Rogerian argument is not going to work for you. For instance, if you're dating someone who is cheating, that's not something you should compromise on. You can't say, okay, go ahead and cheat as long as I don't know about it. That's not respecting yourself. So there are certain things, certain resolutions, certain conflicts that have to be resolved in a decisive and definitive way. But if it's not one of those issues, then this could be a really useful tool for you. Okay, so you have to evaluate, am I willing to give on this to solve this problem? Or is this a deeply felt ethical principle for me that I am not willing to give on? And if that's the case, then Rogerian's not going to work. Okay? All righty. That'll cover us for today.